Faith and Tragedy. This week, we're diving into one of the most famous love stories of all time, Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare. A tale of two young lovers caught between feuding families. Their story is passionate, heartbreaking, and unforgettable. Stay with me as I take you through the legendary tragedy in a way that's easy to follow and engaging. Let's begin.
A long time ago, in the city of Verona, Italy, there were two powerful families, the Montagues and the Capulets. They'd been enemies for many years, and they always fought in the streets.
One day, Prince Aeschylus,
the ruler of Verona, stopped a big fight between the families. He was angry. The prince said, "If you fight again, I'll punish you all." The families promised to stop fighting, but in their hearts, they still hated each other. That night, the Capulets had a big masquerade party. But a young Montague, Romeo, and his friends sneaked into the party wearing masks. Romeo was sad because he was in love with a girl named Rosaline, but she didn't love him back. Then something magical happened.
Romeo saw Juliet, the beautiful daughter of Lord Capulet.
The moment their eyes met, they fell in love. Romeo thought to himself, "Who's that girl? I've never seen anyone so beautiful." Juliet also thought to herself, "This boy is different. I feel something special." They danced together, but soon Juliet's nurse pulled her away. She said, "Juliet, your mother wants to see you." Romeo asked the nurse, "Who's she?" When he learned that Juliet was a Capulet, he was shocked. He whispered to himself, "My love is my enemy." Juliet also discovered that Romeo was a Montague and said to herself, "Why did I fall in love with a Montague?" That night, Romeo could not stop thinking about Juliet. He secretly climbed over the Capulet wall and saw Juliet on her balcony. She was talking to herself. "Why are you a Montague? If you had a different name, you would still be the same person I love." Romeo stepped forward and said, "Juliet, I'll change my name if it means I can be with you." Juliet was surprised but happy. They promised to love each other forever. The next day, Romeo went to Friar Lawrence, a kind priest, and said, "I love Juliet and I want to marry her." Friar Lawrence believed their love could end the fighting between their families, so he agreed to help. That afternoon, Romeo and Juliet secretly got married in the church. They were happy, but their happiness didn't last long. Later that day, Juliet's cousin Tybalt was looking for a fight. He hated Romeo. He told Romeo, "Hey, Romeo, fight me." But Romeo refused. He didn't want to fight his new wife's cousin. But Romeo's best friend, Mercutio, was angry. He said, "If you will not fight, I will." Tybalt and Mercutio fought, and Tybalt killed Mercutio. Romeo was furious and said, "You killed my friend. Now I must fight you." Romeo fought Tybalt and killed him. But the Prince of Verona arrived and was very angry. He said, "Romeo, you must leave Verona. If you return, you'll be punished with death." Romeo had to leave Juliet and escape to another city. Juliet's parents did not know she was already married, so they arranged for her to marry another man, Paris. Juliet was desperate, so she went to Friar Lawrence for help. Juliet said, "I cannot marry Paris. I love Romeo." Friar Lawrence gave Juliet a special sleeping potion and said, "This will make you look dead for 42 hours. Your family will think you're dead and put you in the family tomb. Romeo will come and take you away." Juliet drank the potion and fell into a deep sleep. Romeo in another city didn't receive the message explaining the plan. Instead, his servant told him that Juliet is dead. Heartbroken, Romeo rushed back to Verona. He went to the tomb and saw Juliet lying there. He said, "I cannot live without you, Juliet." He drank poison and fell next to her. A few minutes later, Juliet woke up and saw Romeo beside her. She said, "No, Romeo, what have you done?" She took Romeo's dagger and ended her life beside him. When their families arrived, they saw their children dead together. They were filled with sadness and regret. The prince said, "See what your hatred has caused?" That day, the Montagues and Capulets finally ended their feud. But it was too late for Romeo and Juliet.